All right, everyone, we are getting a new wave of Clash Royale balance changes for March. All 9 cards plus some more are getting balances. Keep in mind, these are a work in progress. So if you have any feedback for any of the balances, then leave them in the comments down below and I can share them with Supercell. So first up, we have the arrows, and they are getting a massive nerf to their crown tower damage. You can see now at tournament standard, they do 39 crown tower damage. They used to do 93, so that is a 58% nerf. This is a pretty big change. It'll make spell cycling at the end of games a lot harder. However, I still think arrows will be one of the best small spells in the entire game. They're just so versatile and have such a big surface area for 3 elixir. I still think they'll be fine for the most part. Next up, we have the log, and it is getting a similar nerf to the arrows, where it's getting a massive crown tower damage nerf. After the balances, it'll do 29 damage to crown towers when previously it did 58, so that is a 50% damage nerf. Again, it'll make spell cycling harder, but for 2 elixir, what you get with the log, it's still going to be a pretty good small spell. Next up, we have the cannon, and it is also getting a nerf. This isn't nearly as much as the nerfs to the other 2 cards, but it is getting a 6% damage nerf. So you can see the new value is 199. The previous value was 212. One thing that's also important to note is that this change does not affect the cannon card, it just affects the cannon itself. Next up, we have a change that is going to affect the Evo Lumberjack, the regular Lumberjack, and the Rage spell. Basically, for the Rage's duration after it leaves the arena, the effects of it are being nerfed by 1 second, so from 2 seconds to 1 second. Basically, what this means is that after any troop leaves the area of the Rage, the effects would linger for 2 seconds after, but now that is being nerfed down to 1 second. This is yet another shot at the Evo Lumberjack because that also affects its ghost, but I still think it'll be pretty solid, honestly. That was it for the nerfs. Now let's look at the buffs and the reworks. First up, the Electro Wizard is getting a 5% damage buff. As you can see, its new value is 116, and that is up from the previous value of 110. Next up, the Evolved Giant Snowball is getting a buff. Its slow duration is going up from 3 seconds to 4 seconds, so that is a 33% buff. Snowball is kind of one of the worst evolutions in the game, so maybe this will help make it a little bit better. Next up, the Royal Chef is getting a buff because they killed it so hard. Basically, the cooking time is getting a 13% buff. The previous time was 24 to 40 seconds, and now it is 21 seconds to 35 seconds. Maybe this will help him out a little bit because he kind of sucks now, but I don't know, we'll see. Next up, we have 2 reworks, and these are really interesting. First up, we have the Princess, and it is getting a change to its deploy time and its first attack speed. So its deploy time is being extended from 1 second to 1.2 seconds, which is technically a nerf, but then its first attack speed is being changed from 0.5 seconds to 0.3 seconds, which is a 40% buff. So basically, you'll be able to react to it quicker as it deploys just a little bit slower, but if it still is able to lock, then that first attack speed is quite a bit faster. Next up, we have the Void, and it is getting a decrease to the hit frequency between strikes. So previously, it would strike every 1.3 seconds. Now that is being changed to every 1 second, so that is a 23% reduction. I don't know, I still think Void is going to suck. I mean, no one really plays it. We'll see what happens though, maybe I'm totally wrong. But yeah, that is it for this wave of balance changes. Once again, if you have any feedback, leave a comment down below. But that's it for me, and I'll see you all in the next video.